Hi, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a simple pair of earrings using our new Supernova bead kit from SoftFlexCompany.com. So let's turn down and we'll get to work on that. Okay, these are my Supernova bead. This is the bead mix that came from Jesse James Beads in our Supernova kit, and I pulled a few beads out of that. I've also pulled this strand out and cut it loose so we could have a few beads from it. We don't need any more, so I'll probably put those up in a minute. I also got the Czech glass moon beads, and I have some ear wires here. Come on, baby. And I got a couple of these little flower bead caps out of my own stash, as well as these tiny little spacer beads, round ones. And the rest is out of our Supernova bead bunch. So we have our moon, we have the little stars charms. We're going to put that down at the very bottom. Then we're going to have our really pretty teardrop here with this bead cap at the bottom, as well as this little round spacer. We're going to use this interesting bead that was also part of the kit that has a little moon and stars on it. It's going to go right here. And then we're going to put one of these silver rondelles with the crystals in it, then this pretty pinky purple bead here, and another one of these teeny little ones, and then our wire. So this is what our earring is going to look like. So we're going to get out a little 20 gauge German style wire here, and we're going to put these together. First, I'm going to put these beads up before we lose some of them. So in order to make these, what we're going to want to do is get some wire out, and then we're going to make a little loop for our star charm here. And then we're just going to go up how I have them set up here and do a loop for the earring wire. So let's get a little wire out and we will start doing that. So since I have them laid out here, I can make a sort of good guess on how much wire I need, and I probably need about this much, maybe less. Less is probably more common because I have a tendency to cut a lot more than I actually need. But I would rather have too much than not enough. So let's cut another piece of wire. So we have two, one for each of the earrings. And then we can put our wire away, or at least to the side. So let's put all of these to one side while we work on our first one. So we want to get our wire as straight as we can here. And once we've straightened it pretty good, we can get out our pliers and so we can make our bend and our bell making pliers. I used stepped bell making pliers to make our loops because it makes them pretty consistent that way, and I much prefer a consistent loop. So let's get our pliers, and we want to go down probably at least an inch. I'm going to go a little further because I know I have more wire than I need. We'll bend her over, get our stepped bell making pliers. I'm going to use the small one. That's the one I usually use. I sometimes go up to the next size when I'm putting charms and things because sometimes they want a slightly bigger loop, but I think this one should be fine. It's relatively small with the small, so just bend her around, bring it this way, and then that didn't shape very well. Let's get her pulled up a little tighter. And if you need to, get your pliers so that you get it tighter. There we go. How's that one look now? That's much better. So now that we've got that formed, we're going to open it just a hair's breadth. So See how I've got it open just a little bit there to slide our star charm on. And once it's on, we're going to take hold of it with our pliers here, bring our pieces back together, make sure they're still looking good. And if they are, I see this one wants to turn a little bit, and that's fine. We'll just straighten her back up. We're just going to wrap 2 to 3 loops around the base here for our star. So now that we have our loops on here, I'm going to bring this all the way around here so it would be on the back. I prefer it on back or front because, you know, when I bring them in, I want to find out where the back and the front are, because I prefer my cuts to be on the back so you don't see them so easily. Now when you're cutting this, make sure you don't get your loop into your cutters, because you can easily. So just make sure you don't have anything but your wire in here. Cut it loose and then tuck it. And once we have that done, now we're just going to string our beads on here. So first, of course, since I have them all set out the way I want them, we're going to just start with from the bottom and go up. Okay, the teeny ones are not going to fit, so we will put on the 20 gauge wire, and I didn't want to use smaller, so we will put those aside and we'll just go with the bead cap. And when we get up to the upper ones, I will probably get a slightly larger. Now when you get up this one on, push it down, because this one is rather flexible and you can move it to the way to how tight you want it. We'll go on. And as I was saying, once we get to the top, I will get a slightly larger little round bead to go on the top here, since these do not want to fit. There we are so far. And now we'll just set this down while I go find a slightly larger little ball bead there. I found some slightly bigger little, oops, come on baby, we don't need that many, we only need 2 now because we didn't put one on the bottom. Now I keep my spacers in these really cool test tubes. You put quite a bit in here, keep a price sprayed on them. They're really great. So now we put the little, this one on, come on baby. And there it is. And now we just want to make our top and put on our ear wire, and this particular earring will be done. Now you'll notice it was just a touch crooked there and I just pushed it over. That's something you can do when you're making earrings like this, but I will tell you that you may not, that will work with this 20 gauge, but you know, you don't want a smaller gauge. It's too easy. It's too flexible then. So now that we've got this wrapped, we're going to put our ear wire on. And normally I'd say this earring has a front and a back, because the moon has a face to it. And actually this little star, I suppose, could be considered because it looks more rounded on this side, but I don't really think it makes that much of a difference. But anyway, what I was saying is when you put your ear wire on, you want this to face backwards as it goes in, so that when it comes around, it will be to the front. Now, your moon is two-faced, so it doesn't matter how this goes. Your star, like I say, is a little bit more rounded on this one side here, so we could consider that the front if we wished to. You know, that's a thing you got to think about. But anyway, this is going to go through this little loop right here and up and around. And there she sits. Now we're just going to tighten, do our wraps on the top here, and this particular earring is done. So now we'll just cut our excess wire off. Like I say, being careful not to cut anything extra, and then tuck that little bit of wire in. And here is earring number 1. Now that looks a little crooked up at top, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pliers in, and we're just going to slightly roll it. See how much better that looks now? So there's one earring. And now we will do the second, just the same. And if your earring looks to you to be a little crooked right now, now is the time to straighten it up. But I think I've got it pretty straight right now. So again, let's go to the other one, and we're going to straighten our wire up. Now, if you have a wire straightener and you want to use it, go ahead and use it. I just usually use my fingers. I think they work fine, but everybody has their own preferences, and you should follow your own preferences. So let's go get this, bend it down, get our stepped bell making pliers, or if you're using round nose pliers, this is the time. Wrap around, drop her down, bring her the rest of the way around, and then see if we've got our lollipop shape. We do, so we'll slip our star into here. Take hold of it with our pliers, right where the bend is. Oops, excuse me. And then wrap the 3 times. Now I got this a little spread wide right here. See, I can put my pliers just about in it. If you do that accidentally, take hold of it on top of the bottom of your twists or your wraps with your pliers and carefully push them together. As you can see, I now have them much tighter. And if you need, you can always carefully, because your pliers can mar your wire, but that looks pretty good. So now we're just going to cut this extra piece of wire off and trim and snug it in some. Oops, that didn't want to snug. It went upwards instead. And this is again one of those times where your pliers are your good friend. I guess you'll want to take it, and when that happens, I put one of the inside the loop, the other below it, and just push it down. And now we snug it up. Now, my wire is a little crooked yet, so we're going to straighten it some more here. That looks better. And now we're going to put our beads on. So it's and there we go. Now it's time to make the upper loop so that we can put our ear wire on, and this earring will be done as well. So as you can see, I did have quite a bit of extra wire. Probably only need about that much, but that's all right. Bend our bell making pliers or round nose pliers, wrap it around, drop it down, bring it the rest of the way, and straighten her so that she's lollipop sized. Come on, pliers. Take our pliers out so that we can roll our ear wire in. Baby, snap up in there. Okay, these wires are snugged right beside each other. See how close I got them? So because this doesn't want to slide in, we're going to take it and do this just a little bit, just like you would if you were opening a jump ring or something. Here we go. Then take hold of it right here and do our wraps. And as you can see, this wire is definitely crooked. We're going to have to do it a little straightening here. It's all right, we can do that. So let's see here. This one's not sure it wants to do that last wrap or not, but we will get it in there. Now we want to trim our wire. Make sure we've got it the right way here. Yep. So I'm going to trip it right here. Tuck it in. And now we want to straighten everything up. So as you can see, this one is not straight, is not quite right. So we want to give it a little twist so that these are facing in opposite directions. Don't need very much, just a touch. And now we want to straighten our wires up because they are a little crooked. And now that looks pretty good. And there is our earrings all done. Aren't those cute with the little moon and the little stars down here? I really like those. I think they're cute. Okay, there we go. There is one of our earrings. We'll get the other one up here too. So we have these cute little moon and star earrings from our Supernova kit from SoftFlexCompany.com. Aren't those cute? Cute little dangle earrings. They'd be about, let's see, they're just about to your shoulder. They're pretty nice. I like them. I hope you do too. And this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. And we'll see you again later. Bye-bye.